Welcome back to the No Doctor Cop Lawyer Show. I'm Darren Franich.
And I'm Keith Staskowitz. This week, we'll be talking about AMC's The Walking Dead.
And the show's pacing problems.
And the show's...
And the show's pacing problems. And the show's pacing problems. The series has now aired 4 episodes in a row about characters kind of meandering through an abstract forest, trying to find a lost girl you barely remember at this point.
In the last 10 years, TV shows, especially cable TV shows, have become much more serialized, which allows showrunners to take their time telling their stories.
Look at Sopranos.
Or The Wire.
Deadwood.
Or Breaking Bad.
John from Cincinnati.
No. But Mad Men, yes. In fact, Mad Men is probably the best example of a very specific subgenre of cable TV shows. The glacially paced, metaphor-laden America deconstructing drama. Or Kaput Lad.
Now, Walking Dead could just be a fun action show, and that'd be fine. But these first 4 episodes have proven it really wants to be a Gapum Lad, like its cool AMC older brothers. The problem is it's starting to feel more like those annoying AMC cousins. You know, the ones who think they're super deep just because they read the cliff notes to T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland while listening to The Smiths. It's not a bad thing to be an ambitious, slow-paced television show, but if you're going to tell your story slowly, you really need 3 things. Good dialogue, interesting characters, and a world within the show that feels vivid and alive.
Without that, what do you have? Existential crises, overly on-the-nose dialogue, scenes in churches, scenes where characters talk about religion but are not in churches, and what I like to call duckling moments. These are compact little visual metaphors in a can, the best and most effective example of which is in the first season of Sopranos, where Tony goes out to find the ducklings in his pool.
It's goddamn ducks.
Other examples include the chess game in The Wire.
So how do you get to be the king?
It ain't like that. See, the king, stay the king, alright?
Or the preemies in Boardwalk Empire. Unfortunately, if you don't use these ducklings correctly, they can be inadvertently hilarious.
The original Walking Dead graphic novels also told their story very slowly, but the characters were more sharply defined, and writer Robert Kirkman constantly forced them to make really difficult moral decisions that redefined what you thought about them. The other key, of course, is that whenever big events did happen in the comic book series, they were really huge. I mean, characters would die or get their limbs chopped off. There was a real sense of all-encompassing moral dread that the show has kind of lacked so far.
Now, we're not picking on the poor zombies of The Walking Dead. In fact, that show is still much better than the majority of network television. And it's important to keep in mind that everything can change around the midway point of the season, which is where Frank Darabont left because of creative budgetary reasons.
It's important to remember The Walking Dead could be any kind of show. It could be like an action thriller like 24, it could be a really paranoid kind of meditation on one character like Breaking Bad, it could be a big gory epic like Game of Thrones.
Or even a good Gapum Lad. But when nothing happens, it can get very, very boring. Found a penny.